Hey, welcome to Cruise Day Fun Live. It's great to have you with us here, whether you're watching us live or from the future. We've got a couple of great topics today, cruise topics. Imagine that, Cruise Day Fun, talking about cruises.
Exactly.
So we're going to be talking about cruise pros and cons. We've got some tips in the form of, is this a good idea or a bad idea? What's the pros and cons? So we're going to kind of go through that, and we're looking for those of you watching live to enter the chat and share your pros and cons.
That's right. That's right. The more the merrier. We like a good discussion.
Yes, we do. And then our second topic, we're going to be talking about one of the ships that we've been on that we really enjoyed. We're going to be talking about Carnival Liberty. We have 10 things you will love about Carnival Liberty coming up in the second half of our show today. So a lot of exciting cruise talk. And before we get to that, Joy, what's going on at the Cruise Day Fun household these days? What's on your mind? What's coming up?
Cruise.
Well,
cruise
we got
in
cruise.
5 days.
Well, 7 days. It's a week from today. So good try though. Good try though. I think you're counting your work days. So yeah, a week from today we'll be on the Norwegian Escape.
So excited.
Headed to the Virgin Islands. You'll be drinking your first
Mango Meltdown.
One of
so
many
excited.
for the cruise. Yes, it's her favorite drink.
I might just be drinking it when I wake up and
when
I go to bed.
I might advise against that, but I'm sure you'll have a few of those because we got that open bar thing, so that'll be a lot of fun. So we look forward to telling you about our experiences on the Norwegian Escape, going to the Dominican Republic, Virgin Islands, St. Thomas and Hotola, and also to the private island, the Bahamas.
Yes.
So
this will be our first time at St. Thomas and Tortola.
Yeah, the Virgin Islands.
Oh.
Yeah. We'll be there for the very first time.
I know.
Like the Virgin Islands. Madonna would be proud. There's a joke in there somewhere. Anyway, let's move on. We've got a lot of exciting things to get to, so let's not waste any more time. Why are you wasting so much time, Joy?
Let's go.
Okay. All right, so this week's trivia question is, what does Carnival Cruise Line call their comedy clubs? The Carnival cruise ships, they have, most of them have a dedicated comedy club, but if they don't, they have comedy clubs in one of the nightclub areas at nighttime. What do they call their comedy clubs? If you know the answer and you're watching live, put it in the chat. And as I always say, if you're not sure and you're watching from the future, wait to hear the answer, then put it in the comments so people think you knew from the start.
Yeah.
So that's the question for this week.
You're brilliant.
Yes. What does Carnival Cruise Line call their comedy clubs? So share that answer. If you know the answer, put it in the chat.
I think I know.
You think you know? Well, you've been there several times. Well, on one of our cruises, our cabin was directly above the comedy club. I know that because you went to the show and I stayed in the room, and I heard most of the show from our floor.
I went there twice.
Well, okay, so we'll see if nobody's given the answer yet. But if you know the answer, put it in the chat. Otherwise, we're gonna move on. We gotta say hello to the first person in the chat today watching live, and that's gonna be Phil Hoover. Phil Hoover, I think it might be your first time with us live. I don't know. Maybe I talked to you earlier this week. I feel like I might have talked to a Phil Hoover earlier this week.
Welcome to the fun, Phil Hoover.
Yes. What? His name's Phil.
But you said his name is Phil Hoover.
Well, that's his last name. He's got a first name and last name. Yeah.
Hi, Phil. Welcome to the party.
And of course, we got to say hello to, once again, back with us is Randasita. Hello and happy weekend.
Happy New Year.
Weekend indeed. And happy New Year. You're going to throw in a whole bunch of fun stuff.
New Year.
It's great to see you again, Randasita. And great to be talking about cruising again.
How long do you say Happy New Year? Is it after January you stop?
I think you can say as long as you want, but people in the July or so might be starting to look at you like you're kind of crazy.
Oh, I was thinking maybe they start looking at you crazy if you went into February saying Happy New Year.
Yeah, maybe. So
what do you guys think?
Okay, well, we didn't even get an answer to our trivia question, so we're going to move on. if you put the answer in, what does Carnival Cruise Line call their comedy clubs? Put it in the chat or at the comments. Otherwise, we got to move on to our first big topic, and that is cruising pros and cons.
Yes.
So I'm going to
Pros
throw
and
out
cons.
yes. So the good and the bad.
Take the good, take the bad.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, I'm getting all choked up here. Joy.
Yes.
Pros and cons of prepaying your gratuities.
You don't have to worry about it. The pro is you don't have to worry about it at the end of your cruise. It's already taken care of.
What's the con?
The con is you may want to pay extra for the great service.
Okay.
Or the con is that you have to pay extra money. When you pay your gratuity ahead of time, it seems like you're paying extra money for service that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. Okay. So it's you gotta say goodbye to your money sooner, but the pro is that you get it out of the way. Let's move on. Maybe that wasn't very good. I hope this improves from here. That might have been a bad one.
It will.
Next, okay. Guaranteed by
Guaranteed.
Joy. Buying cruise or travel insurance. What are the pros and cons of buying travel insurance, also sometimes referred to as cruise insurance?
So the pros is if you get sick and something happens, you're covered with the cruise insurance.
Right.
The con is if you decide to save money and don't get cruise insurance and then something happens, you're out of a lot of money.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, depending on what you consider a lot to be. I would agree. I mean, that's the thing with insurance in general. It's kind of, in a way, if you pay insurance year after year, like for car insurance, travel insurance, whatever kind of insurance you're talking about, you kind of feel like, wow, I kept paying all this money and I've never got anything out of it. Well, except for you got peace of mind. And really, do you want to have gotten something out of it because it means something bad happened? Yeah. So we generally get cruise insurance. Yep. In fact, I think we've gotten it on almost every cruise. Just because, hey, as you get older, you get wiser. Yeah, and you like that peace of mind.
Yeah.
Next one. This is one that I get asked about a lot. This is one that we get questions on our channel. I think you know this one.
Do?
So we do. People ask this, and you've talked about it before. The pros and cons of buying the drink package. And this is just no specific cruise line unless you want to go there. What are the pros and cons of buying the drink package?
So the pro is,
while you're doing that, I'm going to get myself a nice drink of water.
The pro is if you like to drink and, you like to drink and then the drinks that you drink on board the cruise is covered, such as if you buy like a pop package or a soda package or an actual alcohol package. You know that your drinks are covered. If you're like a moderate drinker like me, that would be great. So what are you saying? The con is if you decide that you don't want to be restricted to the number of drinks that you want to drink, the con is that after you reach a certain point on the drink package, you can't drink any further.
No, I don't know if that's true of every cruise line.
Right.
And probably you get cut off if you drink too much anyway, just like a bar. But I know with Carnival, we talked about before how they limit it to 15 drinks per day, which to me seems like a lot. To me,
that's a lot. But
and I would agree. I would kind of broaden that and to say that if you're on the drink package, one of the cons is that every cruise line is going to have rules that you need to follow that you don't have to worry about if you're just buying drinks a la carte. But you could save money. That is definitely a big pro.
For me, that seems like a lot because I'm a really light drinker. I maybe have one alcoholic drink a week, maybe. So
except for when you're on a cruise, especially if they have mango meltdowns.
Exactly.
What about? Okay. What about? Can you tell she's excited to get her mango meltdowns again?
I'm so excited.
It's been a while. Buying the Wi-Fi package. What are the pros and cons of buying the Wi-Fi package?
So the pro is you're able to stay connected and do your Facebook or whatever if you're into Facebook or your social media.
Or YouTube?
Yep, or YouTube.
I've heard of that.
Yep.
Mhm.
The con is are you really relaxing when you're the using the internet service? Because
Mhm.
I like to just unplug for a week and
Yeah.
not have to look at my phone and see
Yep.
like what's going on, and I don't care because I'm on vacation. I want to
Yeah.
enjoy myself.
I
So that's
agree.
the con. It's like unless you're doing it like a job,
Yeah. Speaking of jobs, and I can give a couple examples to what you're talking about. I agree with you totally. I think you summed that up really well. Um, uh, when it comes to the job, if my day job, I tell them I'm going to be on vacation. If I was doing something else and then you get a hold of me, they could get a hold of me. But when I tell them when
Mhm.
I'm going on a cruise, I'm not going to be accessible. So
That's
that's
right.
great. It's a good excuse to say, hey, if there's a work call back home or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
don't worry about it. Now, we have never purchased a Wi-Fi package. We got one complimentary one time included with
Mm-hmm.
a package on the key on Royal Caribbean. We got that,
Mm-hmm.
and Wi-Fi was included. But the one time we did get the Wi-Fi was when we were on a cruise that was during a hurricane, and a couple days in the
Dorian.
cruise, and we found out we weren't going to be going to any ports, and we started to worry about how the weather was being reported back to family back on land. And we thought we needed to maybe be able to get in touch, send text messages and that sort of thing, and reassure our family and let them know, hey, we're safe. We're way out of the bad weather. We're in good hands. And that was during Hurricane Dorian on Carnival Sunshine. They took good care of us. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I prefer to just unhook. That's one of the great things about cruising is you're kind of
it's
away
nice
from it
to
all.
just unhook, go on vacation,
Mhm.
relax,
Yeah.
enjoy the good food and drink, and
Are you gonna list
meet
it
new
all?
people.
Don't spoil all the rest of these. Okay, next, booking excursions through the cruise line. What are the pros and cons of doing that?
Okay, pros. It's because you're booked with a cruise line.
Mm-hmm.
If anything happens or they cancel the excursion, or for some reason when you go on the excursion you're running late, they are aware of that and they will hold the ship for you because they know how many people are on that excursion.
Right.
The con is you're following the con is certain excursions may not be included on a ship that you want to do, so you may want to do your own thing.
Yeah, there's some excursions that you can find through other agencies,
Mm-hmm.
or even when you get off the ship. We've seen and heard stories about people where they get off the ship and they see somebody with a boat and a sign saying, "Hey, let's go explore this remote island. Let's go scuba diving or whatever." And it gives more options, but to me, can be a little sketchy. The other thing with doing a con of doing the cruise sponsored excursions is that you're going to probably pay a little bit more. But for peace of mind, knowing that you'll get back in time, knowing that the company and the excursion has been vetted by the cruise line, I think that makes them pretty worthwhile. And that's right. If we do an excursion, we do it through cruise line.
Yeah.
Okay. Well done. What about pros and cons of arriving early, picking an early arrival time at the cruise terminal? And this is assuming you don't have a special Faster the Fun or a suite or platinum membership. You opted to show up as early as you could.
So the pro is you get a better parking spot.
Oh, well.
And you're able to possibly get on board the ship faster.
Yeah.
The con is...
I like how you're doing the switch hands. So this is the con hand. Good to know.
So the con is that you may be waiting longer depending on what's happening with the cruise ship and everything, and if there's no problems or anything, and you'll be surrounded by a lot more people. So
yeah, a lot of people think about the pros of getting there early. They're excited that it's cruise day. It's time to embark.
Cruise day.
Okay, no singing. So they're excited. They figure the sooner they get there, the more time they'll get to spend on the ship, the sooner they'll be on the ship. And that might be true, but so many people do it, and a lot of people will go there earlier than they even have arranged to be there, and then you end up having these big crowds and lines. So when we've gone on cruises, we tend to go earlier. We do that usually, but you definitely have to deal with more lines sitting and waiting. So
Yeah.
that's the downside. So
Yeah.
the one time we showed up, the latest we showed. Wow, I can't talk. The latest we ever arrived at the terminal for a cruise, it was the easiest boarding ever.
I know
it was so smooth. It was so nice.
Arrived like.
I
think we arrived
noon.
on time.
We were. I mean, we arrived about the time we thought we were. It's a long story, basically.
But we walked through.
Yes, because almost everybody else had already gotten board.
Right.
And honestly, I think we probably just missed out on probably an hour or less on board the ship. And after a week or whatever it was, is it really that big a deal? It depends on what you prefer.
Mango meltdown, calling my name.
Okay. Speaking of calling your name, we're calling your name. If you have pros or cons or comments on any of these, be sure to put them in the comments below. Or if you're watching live, enter them in the chat. Next pro or con, parking at the cruise terminal. What are the pros and cons of parking right there at the cruise terminal?
The pro is that you park and you walk on board the ship.
It's very convenient.
It's very convenient.
What are the cons?
The con is that you may be having a hard time finding a parking spot when you get there, and it's expensive.
It's expensive. I think that's the biggest one. You can save a lot of money if you make alternate arrangements, like you do one of these hotel. You stay at the hotel, and then you get a free shuttle to the terminal, or you park off-site, or you get a Lyft or an Uber. But yeah, it's convenience, but you pay for it. What are the pros and cons? And I don't think you've ever done this, but I know I have. So maybe if you don't have any, I will cover it.
Okay.
But what are the pros and cons of buying liquor bottles of liquor, or bottles of wine to take back home during a cruise?
Well, pro is you're getting it at duty-free price.
You can get a good deal. Yeah.
You get a good deal, and you normally wouldn't be able to buy maybe that alcohol
back home.
Right. The con is, and this has happened, is you may accidentally break it on the way home.
That sounds very specific.
Somehow.
I can't imagine how that would happen to anybody.
Well, life happens. So you just want to make sure that.
Yeah. So, and this is for anybody, in case you haven't been on a cruise, you haven't bought the bottles of liquor in port or in the stores on board, you may not be aware of this, but they don't just hand you the liquor bottle when you buy it at the store, like if you buy a shirt or you buy a ship model or something at the store on board. And when you bring a bottle of liquor back on the ship from the port, they hold it for you, and they don't give it back to you typically until the last morning of the cruise. So they don't want people consuming that liquor on board.
Or you forget about you get so focused on packing and leaving that you forget about your alcohol.
Okay.
That'd be sad.
We've never done that. Breaking the bottle, we'll watch a previous video. You might find something like that. What are the pros and cons of putting your room card, the little card that you use for your key and to buy things on board, putting that card on a lanyard?
Well, the pro is you have it and you can use it and everything, and so that's the pro.
Are there any cons?
The con is you always have it around your neck and stuff. So some people don't like to have it lanyard.
One of us here is a lanyard fan. One of us is not. We'll just say that. And I think the con is, there's a possibility, I guess it could fall off or something like that, and maybe it's not comfortable, or maybe you don't like the way it looks or something. But as a guy who always has my wallet with me, I feel more comfortable having my room key in my wallet, where I can quickly grab it out of a convenient slot in the wallet, and whether I'm boarding, getting off the ship, buying a drink, getting into the room. But for other people, it might be more convenient to have a lanyard. That might be a tough one. But yeah, well, let's move on to the next one, because we got to move on to our other topic in just a minute here, when we talk about 10 things that you'll love on the about the Carnival Liberty. But before we do that, we got to say hi to Charlie. Charlie H has joined us. Welcome in, Charlie. It's great to have you with us.
Welcome.
We're talking cruise pros and cons, and we're going to get to talking about Carnival Liberty in just a couple minutes here.
Yes.
Next, pro or con Specialty dining.
Specialty
Doing
dining.
specialty dining. What are the pros and cons of specialty dining?
The pro is you get a meal that's just cooked for you, and you get it's usually you definitely get better service, and plus the food quality is higher. Con is it cost more, and that's the con.
Yeah,
it costs more.
And in case, just to be clear, we're talking about dinner time specialty dining that you have to pay for, like the onboard steakhouse or something like that. So if you're not familiar with cruising, if it's something new to you, then you might not know this, but basically you can get included food at the main dining rooms or the buffet. There's options like that, but some people like us sometimes choose to do specialty dining, which costs extra. So is the extra special service or special food quality or that experience worth it? Go ahead and throw that. We got to move on after that, but go ahead.
The other pro for specialty dining is you're not just paying for just the main dinner. You're paying for an entree, you're paying for the main dinner, and you get a dessert. So you're getting three course meal for that one price.
Okay.
So I say it's a really good value.
So we're going to do specialty dining on our next cruise.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So what about pros and cons for gambling in the casino? Real quick, what would we say about that?
Pro is you could have fun and win, and then win stuff, and maybe even win a cruise. The con is you lose your money, and you try to chase the win or try and get back your money, so you lose more money. So.
Right, and and I know this is a lot of people
are very slippery slope.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think a lot of people are very opinion about this, so we'll move on. But basically, statistically, casino gambling is basically it's not designed so you'll make money and the casino loses money. So yeah, it can be a little slippery slope. But yeah, like you said, some people do get some perks from it. What about pros and cons of working out while on board a cruise ship, like in the fitness center or jogging track or that kind of stuff?
So those of you who are fitness people, great, more power to you. You know, the pro is you're keeping yourself healthy, and if you're on like a schedule and you want to just the pro is that. The con is if you really just want to relax, and then it's another chore that you want to do, that you feel that you have to do, and for me it's taking away from my vacation of sleeping in or just I get it. People like to exercise and
let's move on. Let's move on. I feel like we might be upsetting people. All the fitness people just left. Okay, we've got 3 more, then we've got to move on to our next topic. Booking another cruise while on board, pros or cons? How about you? Can I take this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Pros and cons. Booking a cruise, you can save money by booking a cruise sometimes when you book your next cruise while you're on a cruise. But the cons is, a con is similar to the drink packages. There's rules that go with that, and you have a time limit on how long you can take before you take your next cruise, and then you're kind of stuck with that cruise line during that period. And if something happens, you could lose that deposit you put down. So that we did that once, and kind of we saved a little money from it, but I think in the long run it was more of a hassle than anything, especially since cruises got canceled and stuff, and it became hard to keep track of it. So last 2, using pros and cons of using self-assist on the last morning of the cruise. In other words, taking your own luggage off of the ship on the last day of the cruise. What are the pros and cons of that?
So the pro is that you can, I think you should explain what self-assist is.
Self-assist is when, instead of leaving your luggage in the hall the night before the cruise ends, you say, nope, I'll pack all of my stuff, and then in the morning when we're allowed to get off the ship, you go ahead and you take your luggage. You don't get any help. You got to pull it off or carry it off yourself.
So self-assist means
I just said what it means.
Right,
What's
but
the pros and cons?
the pro is that you get to leave earlier.
Usually, yeah.
You get to leave earlier, so
that's the pro.
The con is that if you have a lot of luggage, you have to drag your luggage.
Yeah. Yeah, but
without assistance.
There's a lot we could say about it. We've talked about in other videos about how we've seen people wearing their pajamas off the ship the next morning because they didn't do self-assist and they forgot and put clothes for the next day in their suitcase that they put in the hall. So there can be it's kind of just something through cruising on a regular basis to kind of get a feel for what the best way is to do it. But yeah. Last one, booking, the pros and cons of booking a flight home for the last day of the cruise, having that flight on your very last day of the cruise. What are the pros and cons of that?
So the pro is if you book a flight on the day of your last day of your cruise, and the weather aligns and the cruise stops when it comes to the port on time, and you make it to the airport on time, everything is grand and you get to go home faster.
That sounds like a pro.
That is a pro.
What's a con?
The con is if the cruise for some reason has any issues for some reason, whether it being weather, mechanical, or personal, then you're going to miss your flight.
Yep. So yeah, it's a risk you take. So there's the con is that there's a big risk that something could go wrong. You're probably okay. You might save a day of vacation from work or whatever by doing it, but you could be risking something like that going on. Playing it just a little too close. We also like to fly in the day before. If we're flying to a port, we like to fly in the day before, so we're sure that we're there and we don't have to deal with a late flight or something like that, causing a problem. So before we move on to our next topic, we got to do this.
Hello, we have a cruise hero, and the cruise hero today for this week is Dan, my husband.
Oh, come on.
He is the best planner for cruises, and he takes care of all the financial and all the planning, and I just love it that he takes care of that for me, so we don't have to figure it out, and we're just able to go on board the ship and enjoy our cruise. So I really thank him. He makes the cruise special because he does all the work.
That's very sweet of you. I think you're exaggerating.
He is my cruise hero.
Okay, I think you're exaggerating a little bit. Basically, the cruise hero, the idea behind the cruise hero is it's somebody that made your cruise extra special. If you want to suggest somebody, we might mention them so we can give them a little recognition on YouTube. If you have a cruise hero, just email us at info@cruisedayfun.com. Give us the name of the person and what ship it was on and what they did that was so special. It made your cruise extra special. It could be a crew member. It could be a fellow passenger. It could be a tour guide or something like that. Whatever you want. But if you want to give them a shout out on YouTube, email us at info@cruisedayfun.com, and we may share them on YouTube as our next cruise hero of the week.
We want to highlight those people that go above and beyond and make your cruise so special, whether it's your husband or whether it's a crew member who remembered that it's your birthday or that remembered that you like tiramisu and went out of their way so you would have tiramisu. That's a cruise hero.
Okay. Thanks. That's great. Hopefully next week's is a better cruise. Actually, next week we won't be here. We'll be on a cruise. But hey, nominate your cruise hero today.
Yes, ladies.
Now, we're going to share 10 things you will love about the Carnival Liberty.
Woohoo!
Starting with number 1.
Oh, no. Oh, that's me. Diamond's Steakhouse. So, it's so good.
Diamond Steakhouse has delicious steaks, seafood, ribeyes, surf and turf, great appetizers, and great desserts to Diamond Steakhouse on Carnival Liberty. That's the first thing we think you will love about Diamond Steakhouse on Carnival Liberty.
Good, and the service is wonderful, and every steak we've had or I've had at Diamonds has been perfection.
Yes,
they're so great, taste great.
Great. Let's move on. Number 2, speaking of great, is the very first Guy's Burger Joint. Guy's Burger Joint. Even if you haven't been on a Carnival cruise or Carnival Liberty specifically, you've probably heard of Guy's Burger Joint. Delicious burgers and fries. Burgers designed by Guy Fieri himself. And since Carnival Liberty was actually the first Guy's Burger Joint on any Carnival ship, Guy Fieri was there himself overseeing and supervising things. So you know you're going to get great service and great burgers on Carnival Liberty's Guy's Burger Joint. What's number 3?
Oh, number 3 is the dive-in movies. Oh, so much fun. The dive-in movies, they let you know in their news, their app or their newspaper what movies, and it's just fun to go to. Like it seems like a drive-in movie where you can get popcorn and candy and
but it's drink. by the pool, so it's not drive-in, it's dive-in.
I know, and it's wonderful, and you get to see the big movie on the big screen, and it's just fun. So that's number 3. Number 4, the fourth thing you'll love on Carnival Liberty is the Blue Iguana Cantina. Complimentary Mexican food, tacos, burritos, breakfast or lunch. You can get a burrito made with ingredients just the way you want them. They'll make it as you tell them what you want in there. And they've got a salsa bar. You can add some extra heat. And they've got tacos. They make the taco tortillas right there on the ship. So delicious food and breakfast burritos. Breakfast burritos is actually my favorite thing from Blue Iguana. I like the soft tacos too. They're
good.
Really good.
Yeah. What are we up to now?
Number 5. I can't believe we're halfway done. Number 5, the Seafood Shack. So I really like the peel and eat shrimp. They have peel and eat shrimp. They have what's it called? Po' boy?
Lobster rolls.
Yes, lobster roll.
It's like a lobster po' boy.
Yep, and they have like clam chowder that you can have in a
buffalo shrimp.
Fish and
chips.
Mean, it does cost extra, but it's so good and so worth it. So it's a nice lunch option if you're wanting something different.
I agree.
More seafoody.
Yep. Number 6 is going to be a great bar to go to watch the big game, and that's the Skybox Sports Bar. Skybox Sports Bar, great spot to go, and they got these big screen TVs. They play trivia and other things in there too, but watching the game, having a beer, or maybe a whole bucket of beers, it is a great place to go, hang out and have that sports bar atmosphere, enjoy the game while you're at sea with a bunch of other sports fans.
Yeah, awesome. Exactly. We were on a cruise when Super Bowl was happening. So
yeah, so you can do that too. Okay, what's number 7?
Number 7 is the Playlist production stage shows. They're amazing. They're always so much fun and energy. They have a lot of great musical numbers where they're dancing and you can sing along. And it's just incredible shows. We've never been disappointed.
Yeah.
So
Playlist Productions does a great job, and Carnival Liberty is no exception to that. We've enjoyed some great shows on there. Number 8 is going to be another bar. I've got another bar. Sorry, I got to mention, if you're looking for a little bit more craft cocktail-oriented bar with a mixologist, you got to go to Alchemy Bar.
Oh, yeah.
The Alchemy Bar has awesome craft cocktails done by these mixologists. This fun, creative menu of, kind of alchemy-oriented cocktails, quality service.
And it's fun just to watch them make the craft drink. It's such a talent,
Yes, they're very crafty with that. What is number 9?
Number 9, we're almost done. Oh, we're almost done. The number 9 is the aft pool. and they have a bar, and they have a bar, but the aft pool is, if you want a quieter pool to go to the aft pool because it's quieter, and isn't it adult only?
Yep, I believe it's 21 and up, and it's back there by the Pizza Pirate and the Seafood Shack that we were just talking about, and they've got a bar back there and a pool, nice area, quieter area, and they can close it up if the weather's bad. They got a rooftop glass roof, I guess you could call it, that they pull up there. So a great spot at the back of the ship.
Usually be able to go into the pool because it's very hardly used.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not crowded, and you don't have to worry. There's not going to be a lot of kids because it's 21 or older.
Exactly.
Last one, number 10, for the 10th thing you will love about Carnival Liberty is the lobby bar. You might overlook it. You might not think about it after you get on board, but when you're first boarding the Carnival Liberty, you'll see it. You'll walk by it. You might even walk right through it. It's a great quiet spot during the day, and it gets really active and hopping at night. With entertainment, music, and all kinds of fun there. But whether it's day or night, it's kind of got two different personalities. It's a quiet spot during the day if you want to be indoors and having a drink, or if you look for entertainment and drink at night, it's a great spot to go and stop and get a drink. Carnival, their bartenders do a great job with the drinks, and the Flowers Lobby Bar on Carnival Liberty is no exception.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. It was just a nice, quiet place. I mean, it wasn't as noisy as the pool or the other areas, but it was just nice to sit and people watch and just relax and read a book and have a drink. It was a good place to go. I highly recommend it.
Yeah. So if you enjoyed that information, hit the thumbs up icon below and give us a like and let us know you enjoyed that. And if you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe. Doesn't cost anything. It's just a way to follow us so you don't miss our future cruise videos.
It really helps us a lot, and we really appreciate all of you who are watching. So thank you.
Yeah. Speaking of those watching, we got to say hello to J&N Travels, John and Nancy, watching from Florida. Hey,
nice.
we're being watched in Florida. So that's great to have you guys with us. Great cruise channel, travel channel, J&N Travels. And Rhonda Sita mentioned that she's going to be on Carnival Liberty in February 20th to 24th. So we hope you found that information helpful. We've done a few videos on Carnival Liberty, and we hope that was helpful. It's a great ship.
We really like the Liberty.
Yeah, I understand.
It's a nice size. Yep. It's not overly big.
Yeah, my understanding is that next year, 2024, they're going to be moving it to New Orleans. So if you're wanting to cruise out of Port Canaveral on Carnival Liberty, be sure to be booking soon because they're going to be switching that with Carnival Glory, I believe is what they said.
Ooh,
so
Glory.
You're going to have a chance to try a different ship if you cruise out of your local cruise port. So Carnival Liberty, a great ship. We should give a couple more updates before we finish up here. We may have mentioned once or twice, at least at the beginning, that we have a cruise coming up next week. So a week from today,
Escape.
Yep, we'll be on the Norwegian Escape for a week-long cruise. So that means that we won't be back here on our normal Saturday show for next Saturday for sure, and more than likely the following Saturday. So we're going to be gone for a couple weeks, so we hope you can handle it without us. Just keep thinking happy cruise thoughts, and we'll be back with lots of information about our Norwegian Escape cruise, and we're going to continue to do more of these 10 things that we love and that we think you'll love about these different cruise ships we've been on. If you find that helpful, mention in the comments, let us know. What else you'd like to hear us talk about? We always looking for ideas.
Yes.
And we appreciate your support and watching us, whether you're watching live
or in the future.
In the future, that's right. So anything else we need to cover before we wrap up?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. Well, we need to go get packed for our cruise.
No.
So we appreciate you joining us, and we'll be back in 2 or 3 weeks. Be sure you subscribe with the notification bell on so you don't miss out on our next video and live show. We've got a couple videos to put up between now and then that will hopefully tide you over if you're like missing out on your Carnival cruise day fun information. Yeah. So I think that's about it. And thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.